Okay. Right. Muted. All right. We are live.
All right, all right, all right.
All right, Cam. So we're here today to bring a little information to our subscribers about one of the fertilizers that we've all kind of fallen in love with for HyR Brix. So I wanted to share with everybody that we have a discount code for you, so so that you can
Hey.
actually try Hybrix. I mean, we just wanted to bring you a little bit of information here about the fertilizer itself. Many of you who follow me on Instagram and on YouTube, you know that I've been doing a trial for the last basically 70 days. And I did it in my backyard. I did not put anything else down. I only use Hybrix and I used their 2777. And I actually did bag rate, which I think it's about to about 3/4 pounds of nitrogen. And this was done. I started this in June when it was really hot, so I really pushed my lawn. But I am pleasantly surprised at the results. It is the color is amazing. The It's the color and the feed. I only got to 70 days because I had miscalculated a little bit, not realizing that I was going to start my overseeding and everything at the time that I was, and I had to stop. But it that 70 days, it was still looking real good and it was still feeding real well. So I stand behind this fertilizer 100%. This is going to be my granular go-to fertilizer. So I am happy to bring you this discount code so that you can try it for yourself. And Cam has some experiences with it as well.
Yeah, so what's going on, SoCal? I see you over here in the chat, so just wanted to say what's up there. Um, I see we got a couple of more people joining. Before we get into it a little bit more, let's kind of see if we can get a couple more people that may be joining. And I just shared some info on there, but yeah, PJ, I'm like looking at your lawn and how it's performed in the back. Yeah, that thing is looking good. It's looking good. Uh,
I'm real happy with it, man. I can't even express it, man, because I think you and I were talking about it a little bit earlier. It's a different color green. It's a different color green, and I can just stand there and stare at it, man.
yeah, so yeah, like we was talking about, man, it's a color that is as good as my lawn looked this year. I really think that it did look good. Like the color was pretty good in it. I just feel like last year when I was using the HyR Brix, my color was a little bit better. And it was just a little different. Like there was something about it that was a little different with the color that was in it. So I'm with you. Next year, I will be using HyR Brix all next year as my granular. Given that, I mean, there are some things inside the bag that I think are helping with that. Um, it definitely has a strong micronutrient package. I am deficient in sulfur from my soil test, and I've seen a couple of people that have sent me soil tests that are also low in sulfur. So this HyR Brix has one of the highest sulfur contents that I've seen in a fertilizer. So I think one of the analyses has a 12% uh, sulfur content in it. So having that much sulfur in there definitely will be helping me address that deficiency that I have. And also, it's one of those things that when you get a strong micronutrient package in a granular, that's pretty good to be able to
Yeah.
get that. And it also has some chelated micronutrients, not just micronutrients, they're chelated also. So being able to have that makes it just plant available, which is important when you're talking about micronutrients and making sure that they're chelated. And Hybrix has a number of different analysis They actually have starter fert. They just released. They have what they call higher finish, which is a lower nitrogen analysis, which is like a 10-0-0.
Yep.
But that one has an even stronger micronutrient package in it. So that's kind of one that's like that bring home the micronutrients.
Yeah. They
That
do
that
have a separate, like a soil amendment option
Yep.
too. I haven't tried that yet, but that looks good as well.
I actually used that last year too.
Yeah.
I had that. That was in the rotation last year. Um, Pretty good results out of that.
Good.
I kind of enjoyed the applications and the information that or not information, but the results that I got from those. So I will be going with HyR Brix next year. I will be making a video, kind of like because this year I compared 3 different fertilizers, and one of the things is that the fourth one is the one that I used last year, which is the Hybrix. So I've also seen it in action for the past 2 years. Last year in my lawn, this year in 2 other lawns for people that I know, and they've been using that Hybrix in there, and it looks good. It looks good, and
And
I
I'm
second.
super stoked that we can, like, and I say we because this is a We Workin initiative, team initiative here, that we can bring this discount to the community,
Yep.
so that people can try for themselves. Like you said, you did a trial on a few fertilizers. I've trialed a lot, and this one has been the most impressive for me. So
Yeah, and I second what you said with the feed. Um, I know people that have been using it, that I've been watching it this year. They've only fed twice this year. So they put about a half a pound down in the spring, and the last application was like late April, like late April, May time frame, mid May maybe, and they haven't fed it since, but it's still feeding. And
mhm.
like it's still like it's carried them through the summer. It's still growing. It's still got color, and it
And that's
looks.
perfect for people who don't want to be out in the
Yep,
lawn, a whole
yep,
bunch. I mean,
yep,
we like to be out there,
yep.
maybe not so much now after all the work we just finished doing, but but some people, they just, they don't want to deal with it. So this is
Yeah,
perfect. three
yeah,
months and you got to worry about it.
and that's the benefit of. I mean, that's definitely the benefit of this fertilizer is that for that's going to be my recommendation, especially for people that don't want to be out there making the applications monthly. They don't want to be out in the lawn as much. They want something that's going to last them a little longer, and it's pretty decent on the pocket. Like to
Yeah.
be honest with you, like for the money for this fertilizer, I think it is a really good bang for the buck. Um, yes, is it a greens grade type of fertilizer? No, it's not. It's not a greens grade fertilizer. But the thing is, when I say best bang for the buck, I think it's priced well. And I think when you start looking at the duration of feed that you get, you're talking 90-day feed on it. And I was kind of doing some of the calculations on a 50-pound bag. You don't even have to go out at bag rate. Like you really probably shouldn't go down that bag rate, or you're gonna be like PJ and be out there cutting every 2 days.
In the summer when you're supposed to have a little bit of a break.
So if you thought about that, I mean, bag rate, I did the calculation on, I think it was at 20.05. Um, if you went down to bag rate, I think that was like 2.2 pounds of
Mhm.
nitrogen. There's really no need to put that much nitrogen down at one time. So if you split that apple, you can cut that rate way down. I was talking to some people that I know that are using it, and we were going down at like 6 pounds per thousand, getting us close to about 3/4 of a pound,
Mhm.
half pound of nitrogen. So Yeah, you can, and then that way you even extend the life of that bag.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, it just you get a 90-day feed, and you extend the duration of being able to use a 50-pound bag. I think the bang for the buck is definitely there.
All right, we got a question from Brenda. When you say out down a half a pound, do you mean half a pound per acre? No. So we usually talk in per 1,000 square feet.
Per thousand. Yeah.
And I definitely I dropped HyR Brix for I didn't use a starter for it because my phosphorus was fine and I really wanted to get rid of or use up the bag that I had open. So I used that and I dropped 3/4 pounds on the front and side. So
Yeah, I think it's overall. I mean, I really think um, that this fertilizer definitely gives you a what's up on the lawn training. Um, appreciate you being here. Appreciate you being in here. So yeah, I definitely think it's there. Once again, the micronutrient package that it has, the different analysis, and I saw Turf mention, yes, they do also have a garden fertilizer.
yes, I
So
have that.
a lot of their I haven't talked to them about it, but just looking at the site and what I've heard about it previously, I think their bread and butter is ag. Like so, they were more focused in the agricultural background than what they were in the lawn side. And I think now, which is why they're coming out with the higher start, the higher finish, like they're now starting to get into the lawn care side a little more than what they were doing previously. I was actually talking to my supplier for it this weekend when I was up there, and he's just trying to get more of it.
Mhm.
People that are trying it, especially gardeners, like people that are trying it,
Mhm.
are loving it.
Loving it. Yeah.
Like they're loving it. And there's one of the things, not only just from a not just from a gardening standpoint, but from the lawn. So uh, if we want to really take this all the way back, Pete was. Yeah, it might be a couple of Santa gigs here and there. Um, but when we start getting into the lawn, like if we want to take it all the way back, uh, we all know Pete with GCI Turf Services. Pete runs an amazing program, YouTube channel, and business down there in North Carolina, growing tall fescue mainly. And he's used it for years. I mean, he's used HyR Brix for years, which is where I really first heard about HyR Brix fertilizer from was following with Pete, and then I decided to give it a try 2 years ago, and I saw the results for myself, and I've seen it again for a second year this year, and me using three other fertilizers this year to be able to compare it to, I kind of know
And
where it stands.
yeah, and I mean that's important that you've seen it, you've seen the results yourself. Obviously, we're sharing with the community that we've seen them, but it's important to do it yourself because we've talked a lot about there is no miracle fertilizer, there is no
Yep.
miracle product.
Yep.
But some things work better for your lawn than other things, and you're not going to know that unless you give it a shot. So,
Yep. And that's why we like to do a lot of the trials that we do. And I know I do because before I like really tell anybody about anything, more
yeah.
than likely I've been running it for a while. The
Mhm.
only exception to that rule is going to be the SLS products. I'm going to be taking y'all step by step along with me as I'm using that. So
Yeah.
everything else that I've kind of talked about, like the Mountain View seed, any other thing that you've seen me using, I've been running it for a while because I like to see the results before I start telling people about it.
Yeah. So Ashbury Silver is asking, is the garden fertilizer different from the lawn? And it is. It is different. They have the garden fertilizer in these little containers. I have one. I just haven't used it yet, so I don't have any experience with it, so I can't really speak to it. But it is different.
I've used it on 3 of my tomato plants, and they are huge. They are like 6 foot. They are taller than me. I can tell you they're almost a foot and a half. They're at least a foot taller than me in the pots. So it works. Their garden fertilizer works too. So they also, in addition to when you speak like garden fertilizer, they've got one specially for tomatoes. They've got a general vegetable fertilizer, and then I think they've got a corn. I think they've got one specifically for corn.
Mhm.
And I think the difference is the analysis that's in the bag.
Mhm.
Um, so I think they have different analysis to kind of specify what those certain crops would need. But they do have also have a general vegetable fertilizer.
Cool. So this is another one I can't really speak to on the lawn training. I don't. I'm guessing that it does work well on warm season turf, just like anything else, but I don't really have the answer to that one. Might have to look into that a little bit more.
Yeah, I agree with you. Neither one of us have any experience with that, and I would think to answer that, I would look at it and say, what does your warm season lawn need? Your warm season, for the most part, needs a high nitrogen source for the most part. And they do have a 2777 or
Yeah.
2777. Um, so, and it has a strong micronutrient package that comes along with that. So, if you get a high nitrogen content and also a strong micronutrient package, I,
Let me close my door.
yeah. um, I think that it could work for you on the lawn training, but look into it, and that's what we're here to do. We're here to put an opportunity in front of the community. Uh, the team has been working, uh, led by PJ, and we, I mean, we.
Just here within this initiative, I am not the leader. So
Yeah. I mean, for this effort, I give credit where it's due. So we just want to bring this opportunity. It's an opportunity for the community. We did get a discount code to be able to present uh, to everybody. So if you do decide that you want to try it out, you've got that opportunity to do it. And once again, like I said, lawn fertilizer or garden fert.
and yeah, I actually found out something else about the company, and this may be new to them, so I wouldn't rush out and buy seed, but they're also selling seed. Um, and from what I understand, it is clean seed, although there's not enough information on the website for us to really speak to it too much. But I'll be checking out that section pretty often to see what they have to offer.
So PJ, I think we got a couple of questions in
Yeah.
there.
Let's see.
If we can go ahead and somebody can pin that in there, we can take care of that real quick for you, Real House. Um, and then I thought I saw another question.
Yeah.
Let me scroll
So
up.
show this one. What is the price of the products?
Okay, you want to take that one, PJ, or you?
So the prices, so this is the one thing about Hybrix, right? So the prices range from, I believe, let me look at this real quick, $38, and their most expensive one is $45. Good price, right? Well, the sticker shock comes in with the shipping. But when you calculate, because this is for a 50-pound bag, when you calculate that compared to a 45-day feed fertilizer, you're still getting a better value. You're with the code, you'll end up paying for I only calculated the $38 one, the 2777. You'll end up paying about $58 for that with the shipping. Um, I've spoken to Hybrix a little bit, and they, the shipping has been a sticking point, and they're working on it. But this is totally worth it because this is $58 that's gonna for fertilizers that's gonna last you 90 days.
If
So
you went down bag rate.
if you go down bag rate.
So think about not going bag rate.
And
It's
yeah,
even it's even more value in that 150-pound bag. And that's and I continue to bring that up because when you talk about a lawn, I think it in some places, I know it is in Maryland, it's actually illegal for you to go out and drop 2 pounds
yeah,
of N on your lawn.
it is
So
in Virginia too.
so at that point, if you even went legal, which is a pound, that means you've doubled the amount of square footage or coverage per thousand that you can get out of that bag. Like, so I think the value is there. The value is definitely there. You talk about a 90-day feed. That's your one app right before summer, and like it carries you through the whole summer. And I think the benefit of this is uh, being able to get a true possibly 4 applications a year and get full feed like that entire time. A lot of fertilizers say they'll set you up on a program. Yeah, you only got to make 4 apps a year. But do you really get a full feed in between those apps, or does it start to fall off at certain points of that cycle? And I really think that for this one, like on the lawn training, value is there. My turf gets 2 pounds of N for the entire season, so there you go. Like depending on what your square footage is, that you're good. Like you got one bag, and depending on what your square footage is, you could potentially uh, feed for the entire season.
Yeah.
What's going on, bro? I appreciate you joining us.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Um, let's see.
I see Eco Neighbor and Dale join us. How y'all doing? I'm gonna pull I'm gonna channel some of my inner broke real quick. I'm gonna jump in here and acknowledge some of the people in the chat. See, we got Grace has joined us. Thank you for joining, and Dale,
Yeah,
Eco.
Grace, that's good that you guys have. I don't know where what is that? Richmond? You said Richmond. Okay, I think that's supposed to be Richmond. I don't know how far away that is for you, but I know there are only 2 locations here that I found local that sold Hybrix. And honestly, it wasn't a great deal. I Both bags were like $55, so I didn't save much. I think Cam has a place that he goes where he gets it for a really good price, but here in
Yeah.
Richmond, you're not going to get too much of a deal. So for me, even where I need to go is about 35, 40 minutes from where I live. I'd rather spend that extra money and just have them ship it to my house. Honestly, I'm
Right.
not making that drive. I get a little bit lazy. That's extra time that I can, keep to myself. So
I mean, time is money.
it is.
Time is money. Um, so the other thing is, so like you said, I do have a supplier that I go get mine from, which is actually about an hour away.
Mhm.
So I will travel that hour to go, and I do it twice a season. I do it in the spring and I do it in the fall. So I just made my spring trip this past weekend, or my fall trip this past weekend. So I've got everything that I need, and I do get a pretty good price on it. I actually drive just across the line to PA is where I go get mine. Just over the line, the Maryland Pennsylvania line. So yeah, but I'm glad that we got this discount code. So now people that can't find it locally,
Mhm.
which was always a challenge with HyR Brix, is definitely difficult to find it locally. I will say if you do look for it locally, Normally, like your ag stores may have it, or like your smaller agricultural stores may have it, but I found it very difficult to find it locally, which I'm not glad we got this discount code. So anybody that hears this can go check it out if they like.
Yeah. And I will say too that like I really like the way that it spreads. I spoke a little bit about this in our in the live cast last night, but you know it's a little bit basic, but it's got some nice coloring to those granules. It's got some granules in there, and I really want to know what they are. There's some blue ones and some burgundy ones, and I'm like, is this the secret right here? So I really want to know what that is, and I'll probably kind of chat with the company to see if they're willing to tell me what those are.
So
But it spreads good in that Echo RB630 or RB60.
it was interesting when you mentioned those colors, because none of the ones that I've used have any.
Maybe it's just the 2777 then.
And I think that 2777, and that's the one that I haven't used. I've used almost everything else except for the 1000. I haven't used the 1000. But now I'm using just about everything else. I think I've at least spread once.
Good. So you said you haven't used the 2777. Which ones do you typically use?
So I've used the 2005 because I've got areas that are sufficient in phosphorus. So the next thing is I'm going down with the 12-20-12, which is their starter fert. I've used their 22, I think it's a 2277, which is just a little lower nitrogen content than the one that you're using. I think that's all of them. I've used a soil amendment. I use a soil amendment.
There's the finish, the 1000.
Yeah, the 1000. That's the one I haven't used.
Okay.
So I've used a soil amendment. I used that before, and I've liked the results out of all the ones that I've used, which I've used almost their whole line, and I've liked what it's done.
Okay, good deal. Well, good deal.
All right, so I'm going to we're gonna pose this right here and see if anybody out there has any questions. If not, what do we got? Can you use?
Yes. I did, Grace. That's what I use with my overseeding.
Yep. And
2777.
I'm actually using the HyR Brix starter fert for my overseeding in my front yard because
that one is what's the
12-20-12.
12-20-12. Okay.
Yep. And the thing is when you get to talking about overseeding, if you don't have sufficient phosphorus, yes, I recommend you go with your traditional starter fert with a higher phosphorus content in it. But if you've done a soil test and you've already got sufficient phosphorus, you don't necessarily have to go down with a traditional starter fert at your time of overseeding, which is what PJ did.
Yep. Yeah, let me go ahead and pop this code up here one more time, and then if you guys have any questions, go ahead and pop them in the chat. Give a few minutes on that.
So PJ, on the backyard, you did go down with with some lateral spread back there. Did you use a 27.7 also back there?
I did not actually. Okay. Back there, I actually used the next green pop.
Okay.
And I plan on in another couple of weeks, like once, I usually when I overseed, I'll fertilize a little bit. Then 2 or 3 weeks later, I'll pop another fertilizer on there. And so that next one is definitely going to be a Hybrix that I put down. It's just no question. Because I'm trying to, get it through, go ahead and get it through the season, the fall season. and just do amendments, man. Like that's going to be the case with the whole yard. Just, you know how I feel about Simple On Solution 600. So if I feel like I want to go out, spray a little bit.
You get trigger finger. You get a happy trigger finger.
Yes, sir. That's me.
Yeah, I will
Appreciate you,
be.
bro.
Yeah, man, appreciate that. I will be going down, like I said, in my front yard with the starter fert. In my backyard, I'm probably going to go down with the 2005. That's what I'll be going down with in my backyard, because I'm sufficient in phosphorus in my backyard. So I'll just go down with the 2005 and get it up and jumping.
We need to get Turf and Polo to go down with those too.
Yeah, man, we need to get Polo on track. I know he's not overseeing, so
Yeah, he's got test
he can
spots and
still
stuff. He can drop it out there somewhere.
he can yeah he got somewhere to drop it. Now he's got a discount code for it now.
That's right. That is right.
Yeah, and I don't think he said he's bought all of his FERT yet for his client loans. So yeah, he's got a little bit of a discount code that he might could use. I honestly I think when you look at it at how long it feeds, and then with the value that you get from the bag, not having to go down at bag rate, you can actually extend that bag a little bit farther over the course of a season. So, and then like if you're in areas like me, I think it's going to be a good benefit to me to have that longer feed, because I've got a fertilizer blackout starting November 15th.
Yeah.
So given I'm gonna go down earlier than that, my last heavy granular is gonna be probably the end of September, and then that'll be my last heavy granular feed. But then if I go end of September, now I've got October, November, December that I know it's going to be feeding. But by the time you get into end of December, January, and all of that, the loan's not even going to be asking for. It's not even going to be uptaking any kind of nutrients. So it's going to be there. You'll be good, and then you'll quickly be able to get in there late February, early March. Well, I can't go down until March 1. March 1, I have the ability to be able to throw down again for the first time in 2022, and we'll be off to the races for the season.
Yeah. So with that plan you just said, I know we're probably going to get some questions about the Winterizer. So technically along those lines, that's what you're dropping at that point, right?
Yep. That last app, that would be my Winterizer.
Makes sense.
And just some new research that's been done recently over the past couple of years. It's just kind of talked about when you would drop what you call that Winterizer. Like, what would you consider? What timing would you consider that? Historically, people have dropped that at like that November, that real late in the season, into October, November time frame for them dropping that fertilizer. But the thing is some of the recent research has shown that if you're able to get that FERT down earlier, say in September, that now allows more of that nutrient to get uptaken into the plant. Whereas the end of November, the plant's not really asking for that much water. It's not asking for that much nutrients. So all of that stuff gets taken up from the roots. If the plant isn't asking for water and nutrients, it's not going to uptake it if you're putting it down November. So that's another thing for people to think about when they're actually putting down that Winterizer application. You may want to do it a little earlier than what you think.
So is the plant
historically.
uptaking the plant uptaking the nutrients and storing it at that point, or right?
Yep, and especially if you're not pushing it, so it's gonna start uptaking. It's gonna take all of those nutrients and stuff in
Yep.
as temps and all of that stuff start to cool down. It's gonna be storing away some of that energy, and that's what it's gonna be doing. The later you put it down, the less that it's gonna be requiring. So the less of it it's gonna take up.
So motivated moments. You're right on time, man. End of September, right on time. Kick it up. Um, Shout out to M Branch. Appreciate you supporting the Girls Lawn merch. I hope you like the shirt.
Yeah, PJ got all that merch over there.
Only have a few things, man. I can be a little bit indecisive, so the designs have changed a little bit.
I don't know if it's indecisive or you just want options. That's what we're gonna say. We're gonna say you want options.
I do. I do. I'm a t-shirt fanatic. So, if I come up with the idea, boom, I throw it on a t-shirt real quick. So,
Yeah.
so yeah.
Hashtag. Who's that hashtag polo cheated?
Team Polo. Every
Yeah. All
All
right.
right.
Well, we're gonna see if anybody else has any more questions. Once again, we're just gonna say we're here to announce the discount code. It has been posted a couple of times. I think PJ, if you can pop that up one more time. The We Workin team has been working, and we're bringing to you this discount code for HyR Brix Fertilizer. They do have a lawn and also a garden lineup. So not to leave out the garden community, you do have an option there also of being able to utilize that discount code and give it a try. I've seen good results from it. I've been using it for 2 years myself in my lawn, and I've seen it in other people that I've recommended it to that have been using it, and they've had positive results too. And I think PJ can attest to her experiences with it also.
Yep. Happy to bring it to you, my friends.
So this is kind of what the team's been up to. I'll be honest. I know I haven't dropped a video in a while, but I got something coming. I've been working behind the scenes. I got some good content that's going to be coming. So y'all just bear with me as I get in the lab and start doing some of this editing. And it's the fall season. It's been busy. I've been working. I'll just put it like that.
So, just another question in branch. Yeah, definitely get it down before October. You want to get that part down in September if you can.
How do you maneuver around fallen leaves? So when it comes to leaves, I got a yard full of them.
Yeah.
I mean, I deal with leaves. When leaves really start falling, I'm normally blowing leaves every 2 days. It's that many leaves that are falling. And it's something that I got a backpack blower. Leaves will kill your overseed. Like leaves will be detrimental to your lawn. Make sure you're getting the leaves up, especially if it rains. If it rains and the leaves get wet, make sure you get them off of the lawn because it will suffocate the grass that's underneath it, and it will die. And then you'll be left with a bare spot that you just finished the overseed. If you've got a cool season lawn, that if you just did an overseed, now you've got a bare spot that you've got to go back and fix. So stay on top of your leaves. It's just I normally, if I'm gonna make an application, I'll make sure I get all the leaves and stuff off, make my fert application, get it watered in or get it rained in, because I don't want to go out there and blow it while it's still sitting on top of the soil. But I would try to get that watered in before I went out to try to get up any more leaves in the next couple of days. I'd wait to make sure that it got watered in and it's down in the soil.
All right. All right. So with that, I just want to say one more thing to you guys. If you try this Hybrix, please, 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 I want to know how you like it or how it works for you. So reach out and let me know. Chat about it. I'm up for internet chats all the time. Just don't call me, don't text me. No, just joking. But with that, we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna close this out, guys. We appreciate you jumping in here with us. And use that code. I'm going to put it in the description as well, so you'll have it to refer back to. And hope it works well for you.
Yeah, and appreciate y'all joining us. We're just happy to be able to bring this. This is kind of a give back to the community. We're definitely glad to be able to bring it to you, and hopefully we can continue to work with HyR Brix and continue to do some other things and kind of help them get their name out a little bit and bring a product that we believe is good. And as we say, try it, do your research, trust but verify. Make sure you look at it, see if it's a fit for you. Yep. See if it's see if your soil test or which analysis will align with your soil test when you're putting it down. And just do your research, make sure it's a fit for you, and give it a shot. And if you decide to give it a shot, use the discount code.
All right. All right, guys. Catch you later.
All right, y'all. Have a good one.